LG Velvet. Best budget phone. Dual screen case makes this a faux folding phone. Things have been a little quiet for LG recently, but the Korean giant is back with a new strategy for the smartphone market. But can the Velvet stand out in a busy market as a low-end flagship? I promise this isn't an attempt to avoid the question so you read the entire review, but the answer is complicated. The Velvet is certainly a step up for LG in some ways, particularly design, and the dual screen case adds an interesting element. In fact, it's more than that, but it's also not a great solution, and for the more tech-savvy buyer, the Velvet has some tough competition. Note, please be aware that LG sent me the Korean version of the Velvet, so there are some hardware and software differences to the edition that will arrive elsewhere. I'll point these out as we go. Design and build. We don't always start with this section in reviews these days, instead focusing on what is most important about the product we're reviewing, particularly. Design is the key thing here though, as LG has really gone to town on the Velvet to create a desirable smartphone. Dual screen. Now to tackle the dual screen case, which adds another display to the Velvet. Eagle-eyed readers will notice that this setup is just like the LG V60, and you're right, it's near identical. The Velvet slots into the case easily enough, and like magic you have two phones side by side. Screen. Back to the Velvet itself, and although the screen is too tall for my liking, it is quite striking, and not solely due to the curved edges. LG, of course, knows how to make displays, and you get an OLED panel here with bags of color, excellent contrast, and plenty of brightness to boot. I've found it a joy to use in almost all aspects. Specs and performance. To achieve a more affordable price point, LG has avoided Qualcomm's top-tier 800 series processors and gone with the slightly lower 700 range. In Korea, the Velvet comes with a Snapdragon 765, and elsewhere it gets the 765G. Either way, this chip has 5G and makes the phone an affordable option if you want the latest standard. Cameras. I mentioned earlier how nice the raindrop arrangement of cameras looks, really nice. It's a shame that none of them are particularly amazing, though. Although there are three, one is a depth sensor, so this is really just a main 48MP with an 8MP ultrawide option, a combination, I might add, LG was doing long before rivals started to add a wider angle edition. Battery life. As I alluded to earlier, LG's choice of specs combine to not only hit a more affordable price than many rivals, but aids battery life. The Velvet has a decent 4,300 mAh battery and can easily last through a day of varied usage for the average user. Of course, hammer it with gaming, especially running the dual screen, and you'll need to top it up a lot sooner. Perks and software. An odd subheading, I know, but it's worth praising LG for elements such as a headphone jack. It's mad, but that's a real bonus, and the firm continues to look after those who care about audio. Although if you are an audiophile, it's bad news because the Velvet doesn't have a quad DAC like the V60. This, I imagine, is part of the change in strategy and to save money. Price. So how much is the LG Velvet? We're waiting for UK details, but LG has confirmed that the phone costs $700 and 650 euros, and from what I can gather the dual screen is not included. You can now order the Velvet in the US from AT&T starting at $10 PM for 30 months. That's a limited time deal, half the price of the normal $20 PM cost. Alternatively, you can buy it for $599, which is lower than LG said. LG Velvet specs. Android 10. 6.8 inches HD, 1080 by 2460, P-OLED, 20.5:9 Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G octa-core processor. 6/8GB RAM. 128GB expandable internal storage, up to 2 TB. 48MP f/1.8 main. 8MP f/2.2 ultra-wide. 5MP depth sensor. 16MP f/1.9 selfie camera. Fingerprint scanner, in-screen. 11 AC dual-band Wi-Fi. Bluetooth 5.1. GPS. NFC. 5G. Single/dual-nano SIM. USB-C. Stereo speakers. Headphone jack. 4,300 mAh non-removable battery. 25W fast charging. Wireless charging. Quick charge 4.0. 167 by 74 by 7.9 millimeters. 180G. IP68.